Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a true story of survival that is so unbelievable, so packed with adventure, it honestly feels more like a legend than actual history. We're about to follow an Ottoman captain on a journey that would change the world's map. Just listen to these words. They aren't just poetry from some dusty old book. These are the opening lines of a real captain's log, the very beginning of an incredible 4-year odyssey. They were written by a man named Saidi Ali Rice, an Ottoman admiral whose simple mission to sail home turned into one of the greatest adventure stories ever recorded. Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is 1553. We're in the sweltering port of Basra, deep in the Persian Gulf. And there's a problem, a big one. 15 magnificent Ottoman galleys, the pride of the Sultan, are just stuck. They're trapped, thousands of miles from home, their path blocked by a powerful enemy.
So who do you call for a job like this? Well, Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent calls for his absolute best. He summons a man named Saidi Ali Reyes. Now, this guy wasn't just a sailor. He was a brilliant geographer, a mathematician, a poet, a true master of the seas. And he's given one single, very daunting command.
On paper, the mission sounds pretty straightforward, right? Get the ships, sail them home. Simple. But the path from Basra to Egypt was a brutal gauntlet of enemy warships and some of the most dangerous waters in the world. This wasn't just a retrieval mission. It was the start of an epic that would push a man to his absolute limits.
So, after months of backbreaking work getting these worn-out ships ready for sea again, Saidi Ali Rice finally gives the order. They set sail. And where does he head? Straight into the Hormuz Sea, which he knows is basically the personal hunting ground of his greatest rival, the technologically superior and very aggressive Portuguese Navy. He's sailing right into the lion's den. I want you to just picture this scene for a second. It's the 10th day of Ramadan, 1554. The heat is shimmering off the water. It's quiet, and then a shout from the lookout shatters the peace. On the horizon, it's not just 1 or 2 ships. It's a full-blown war fleet, and it's sailing right for them. 25, that's the number. 25 Portuguese warships, towering galleons armed to the teeth with cannons, appear and form a battle line. They have more ships, bigger ships, and better guns. They are blocking the only way home. For Saidi Ali Reyes, there's no running, there's only one option: fight.
And just like that, the sea erupts in fire and smoke. It's a furious cannon battle, but against all the odds, Saidi Ali Rice, this brilliant tactician, manages to outsmart the larger fleet. He cripples one of their galleons and actually forces them to retreat. It's a stunning victory, but they barely have time to celebrate.
You know, what's amazing is that we know what happened next, because Saidi Ali Rice wrote it all down. And his description of this second battle, it's not just a report. It's the words of a hardened veteran who has just seen something that truly shook him to his core. To understand how huge this statement is, you have to know who Hariten Pasha was. He was Barbarossa, the most legendary admiral of the entire 16th century. And Saidi Ali Reyes is saying, I fought with the great Barbarossa, and I've never, ever seen anything like this. This battle was pure hell. And incredibly, the worst was yet to come.
Battered, bruised, but somehow still afloat, what's left of the fleet escapes into the wide-open Indian Ocean. They're trying to make a run for Yemen, but they're about to run into an enemy that no cannon can defeat. An enemy more powerful than any navy on Earth, nature itself. This wasn't just a bad storm. The local sailors had a name for it, the Phil Tafani, the Elephant Storm. And it absolutely lived up to its name. For 10 days and 10 nights, the sky and the sea just merged into one violent, churning monster. The waves were like mountains, and these massive galleys were tossed around like they were toys. So what do? It becomes a desperate fight for every single second. Cannons, supplies, priceless cargo, everything gets thrown overboard to lighten the ships. Saidi Ali Reyes even writes about seeing sea monsters in the waves, the length of 2 galleys. At one point, they see the telltale signs of a deadly whirlpool and barely steer clear. And then the storm delivers its final killer blow. The rudders on the ships just snap. That's it. They're helpless. Just a cork in the ocean. The journey by sea is over. The ships are wrecked, smashed to pieces on an unknown shore in India, thousands of miles from home. For Saidi Ali Reyes and the few men who survived,
you'd think this was the end. But it's not. It's the beginning of a new journey, an even more impossible one.
So let's just stop and think about this. You're stranded in India. Your mission is a total failure. Your fleet is gone, and you've got just 50 men left. What do? Surrender? Give up? Not Saidi Ali Rice. He decides there's only one thing to do: walk home. He's going to lead his men overland, back to Istanbul, even if it takes years.
And this is not just some long hike. The second they step ashore, they are plunged right into the middle of a brutal civil war. His reputation as an Ottoman commander makes him both a target and a prize. He survives assassination plots, people try to poison him, and at one point he's even forced to command a local army, where his small band of survivors fight so fiercely they become known as the Ghost Army.
Now, here's where you really see the measure of the man. Local kings and rulers are so impressed with him, they offer him everything: power, unimaginable wealth, even the governorship of an entire province if he'll just stay. But his answer is always the same: he can't be bought. His duty is to his sultan, and his home is Istanbul. He has to get back.
His journey then takes another incredible turn. He arrives at the glittering court of the Mughal Emperor Humayun in Delhi. And here, he has to put down the sword and rely on his wits. He uses his knowledge as a poet and a scholar, dazzling the court, engaging in debates about astronomy with the emperor himself, and winning not just respect, but friendship.
I mean, just look at the sheer scale of this trek. He goes from India through what is now Pakistan and Afghanistan. He leads his men over the frozen peaks of the Hindu Kush Mountains in the dead of winter. He gets tangled up in the politics of Uzbek warlords in Central Asia, gets caught in another war, and then finally makes his way into the rival Persian Empire. It's just staggering.
And then, after almost 4 years of constant battle, of desperate diplomacy, of sheer survival, Saidi Ali Rice and his tiny band of exhausted men finally cross the border. They're in Baghdad. They are finally back in the Ottoman Empire. The impossible journey is almost over.
4 years. 4 years of storms, battles, deserts, and mountains. After all that, he finally stands before his sultan, Suleiman the Magnificent. And he doesn't return in shame. He returns as a hero who survived the unsurvivable, a man who simply refused to quit. So, did the mission fail? Technically, yes, the ships were lost. But what Saidi Ali Rice brought back was so much more valuable. He returned with a treasure trove of knowledge, maps, political intelligence, and a deep understanding of the lands of India, Central Asia, and Persia. He wasn't punished, he was honored, and he wrote everything down in his masterpiece, The Mirror of Countries.
The story of Saidi Ali Rice is just this powerful reminder, isn't it? That true failure isn't about losing something, it's about giving up. His journey started as a total disaster, a shipwreck, but it ended up becoming one of history's greatest explorations. It proves that sometimes the most important discoveries aren't at your final destination, but along the crazy, unexpected, difficult path that takes you home.